Hello, guys, and welcome to Trinity 10 Day. It is Tuesday, the first one of the week. And this week's topic, I really want to talk a bit about how to introduce change. I know last week I kind of covered KPIs, the impact they have on your company, how you can plan for the future as far as your scoping and using those KPIs as your backboard, so to speak, where you can rely on them and then they end up steering you in a certain direction based on what they've been telling you about your procedures. And then now today we're going to talk about how you can introduce the change that will continue to impact your KPIs and how you can continue to see the change in the near future. So when you go to introduce change, the biggest thing is to be clear on that change. I know clarity sounds like a recurring theme every time I have a video or something like that, but clarity is crucial. So when you have a team, the clearer you are about where you're leading them, the clearer they can be about their role within the change, the clearer they can be about their role within the advancement, the clearer they can be about their role within the betterment of the company and even them as a whole, how they can continue to be a team and be cohesive, but how their cohesion can lead to new heights within the company. So when you're clear about what change you want to introduce to your team, there needs to be a conversation with the main people who are going to be impacted, right? You can have a team of 200 in a warehouse on one shift, and within that team of 200, only 50 could be impacted because they're the ones that show KPIs where their production area can grow, where their area is ready for growth, their area can take off, their area can handle that growth. So now these 50 people are the ones that are impacted, and you know that number is impacted because of the clarity you have from the beginning, because you know exactly who needs to drive the change, you know exactly who's going to be making those changes, and now you have a chance to speak with them about the changes that are about to be happening. So let's say within that warehouse you have your people who pick the products off of the shelves or pick the products out of, I don't know, a closet or something like that. Those people that are going to be impacted need to be taken directly to what's going to change. So if you're no longer going to be picking an item, but a machine is going to be doing it for you, I need to see exactly how that machine is going to pick that item in order for me to know how to do my job, and also how my job is evolving and changing. I need to know why it's going to be impacted and how. So most of the time when we make changes in our companies, it is to impact efficiency, and ultimately that efficiency will lead to a higher profit margin. That's what we're in business for. We're in business to make money, and we utilize our team or our employees to help us make even more money, because the more people you have on the same page, the greater the impact tends to be if you do it right, if you have the right infrastructure. So when we impact these changes, or when we find that area we're going to change and we have those people there who are going to be impacted by that change, we need to make sure the people who are leading them are fully aware of any contingencies, anything that can go wrong within those new changes, right? Because if you come in for your shift at 3 p.m. and you're used to your machine already running, but now with the new machine or the new way of picking a product, you're going to have to start the machine yourself. You kind of need to be mentally ready for that, and then in turn have your team ready for that as their leader, because now you know what the changes are going to entail for them and when they come in at the start of their shift. So this could also look different for a leader as well, because now you may have to be more hands-on at the start of the shift as opposed to the end of the shift, where you may be doing cycle count, you may be rehashing the numbers for the night for production, and all these other things that you may do. You may have to shift some of that perspective from the end of the night to the beginning to make sure that you can hit those production numbers based on the changes that you're making. So when you are engaging in change, when you are choosing to change a certain facet of your business, you need to have proper training done for the employees that are going to be impacted by it. And for higher management or upper level management, the ones who actually approve these changes, your floor management, your hands-on management, like your supervisors and team leaders, floor managers, whatever you want to call them, they need to have extensive training, because it's not only about their department doing well, it's about the people who work in that department doing well, because they have to receive the information and then funnel it down to their teammates, and everybody kind of learns differently. Everybody kind of retains information differently. Everybody doesn't learn the same. Some people learn by being hands-on, others learn by listening, and then others can learn by just watching you do it and then kind of learning what not to do in the meantime. So once you're clear on where you're going, You know exactly who's going to be impacted. Like I said, that subset of 50 people out of a warehouse of 200. Then you have their leadership on board, their floor leadership, who helps them reach their numbers, who kind of reinforces what needs to be done production-wise for the company. From there, you're training your employees how to make sure they use this new equipment, or how to make sure they use this new flow of the warehouse in a way that's going to be efficient and up your profit in the end. So I want to make sure that when we are engaging our team members, our verbiage is important. Okay, that's something that I wish was a bit different when I had managers, or when I was working for people who were in leadership, and sometimes their verbiage would be off-putting. Their verbiage would make me I guess kind of like hesitant of the change. It would make me seem like I don't really want to engage with the change, when the change could ultimately be good, not just for KPIs, but for the workers in general. You know, like I said, with introducing the new machine, it could even take some of the stress off of your body. Some of the picking that you do manually can now be alleviated, and they could all be good things. But the verbiage used by the leadership to the floor members is going to be your biggest driver for whether it is a successful change or whether that change comes with some hesitation. And the last thing you want after you've invested in change, after you've invested in, let's say, a big new machine, or you've invested in putting this new infrastructure in place, and you've sat and you've gone through it, you've gone line by line, the last thing you need is to have that time or that machine cost wasted by people who are just naturally hesitant. It's not that it can't be done, they just don't want to do it because of how it was presented to them, right? So you want to make sure that your leadership, your floor leadership, like your team leaders and your supervisors, are aware of why the change is happening. Like I said, with your clarity as upper leadership, you should then be able to convey that to the floor leadership so that they can convey it to the team members. It's a chain reaction. It's a flow of information, and how you flow that information will like kind of determine the result you get, the feedback you get based on how you divulge the information. So if you tell everyone, hey, you know, we know you work 10-hour shifts, we're using these machines to alleviate your back pain, to alleviate your shoulder pain, or whatever it is from the picking and carpal tunnel, I don't know, whatever results on the body could be had by the continuous picking or packing of products, we're alleviating this by using machines. And then now this will also give you guys a chance to learn a new area because we don't need as many people here, or to I don't know, be more of support staff, or learn something more techie up in IT for some of the other changes that are going to happen for the company. The way you convey this information will be the determinant of the amount of kickback that you get back. You don't want kickback when you're implementing change. It takes a long time to decide on what change you want to implement. The last thing you need is a team who's hesitant to it and who kind of kicks back against it. They're gonna impede your numbers, the numbers you know you want it to see, right? Most of the time when we're implementing change, we kind of adjust our numbers to a lower setting because we know that everybody's got to get used to it. The procedure is new. The KPIs may be a little wonky at first with the machines and seeing how they work for a full shift. There are so many things that go into it that you may give yourself a solid 2 months before you start using KPIs as a determinant for the production you expect to see. So that's totally normal. But you want to make sure that, like I said, your verbiage, how you say it, how you present it to your employees, how you present it to your floor leadership is imperative, because if you don't present it the right way, it's going to seem as if you're trying to take their jobs away. And that's been a lot of kickback, even with AI or automation. A lot of people feel like, okay, when you put these machines in place, or when you put these computers in place, I feel like you're trying to take my job away. Like you don't need me anymore. You're just going to have a computer do it. So watch how you convey the changes. Watch how you tell them exactly what's going on, and watch how you tell them they fit into the future of your company, or how they fit into the growth of your company. So, my name is Fredrina with Trinity Professional Group, and I have a huge announcement this week. I cannot wait to announce it, you guys. It is going to be so amazing, and it's going to require you guys to be active participants, but this participation is going to be so amazing. It's going to pay dividends in Q1, and I feel like we're going to practice now to make sure we kick off Q1 with a win. So you can always find me at trinityprofessionalgroup.com, Freddie the Trinity Pro on all social media, and we'll be back on Thursday with part 2 of how how we can introduce change to our teammates and make sure we get that efficiency. Bye, guys.